The Beatles, Mulholland Drive, and the night LSD shaped a song. In the summer of 1965, the Beatles found themselves immersed in the hedonistic whirlwind of their US tour, and during a brief stay in Los Angeles, they rented a house on the famed Mulholland Drive. It was here, on the 24th of August, that they played host to two key figures of the emerging folk rock movement, Roger McGuinn and David Crosby of the Byrds. The gathering became notorious, not only for the convergence of two iconic bands, but for the introduction of LSD to three members of the Beatles, John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. Paul McCartney, ever the more cautious and controlled Beatle, abstained from the drug, remaining an observer of the psychedelic chaos that was soon to unfold. For the others, this was their first collective experience with LSD, which would go on to profoundly influence their musical direction. As the day unfolded and the LSD took hold, the sense of euphoria and introspection began to twist into a darker realm. George Harrison, already deep in the throes of the drug's hallucinogenic effects, began to panic, convinced he was dying. In the haze of this surreal moment, Peter Fonda, an actor and acquaintance of the Beatles, arrived at the house. Fonda was already well versed in the effects of LSD, having taken it multiple times before. Seeing Harrison's distress, Fonda, who was also tripping, tried to comfort the guitarist. His attempts to soothe Harrison, however, took a peculiar turn. Fonda, referring to a near-death experience from his childhood, recounted the time he accidentally shot himself in the stomach. His heart had stopped 3 times on the operating table, and he claimed to know what it's like to be dead. This macabre statement, intended as reassurance, unnerved Lennon, who overheard the conversation as he passed by. Lennon, never one to mince words, snapped at Fonda, "You're making me feel like I've never been born. Who put all that shit in your head?" This bizarre and intense encounter would have lasting effects on John Lennon's psyche. The phrase, "I know what it's like to be dead," haunted him, eventually seeping into his songwriting. The interaction became the inspiration for She Said, She Said, a song that would later appear on the Beatles' groundbreaking 1966 album. The song's fragmented lyrics capture the confusion and existential dread of that LSD-soaked night in Los Angeles. Beyond the personal and creative effects on Lennon, this event marked a turning point for the Beatles as a band. LSD opened up new pathways for their music, pushing them toward the experimental, the surreal, and the introspective. The resulting shift would be felt not only but in and beyond as the Beatles began to embrace the counterculture and push the boundaries of what rock music could be. The 1965 gathering on Mulholland Drive serves as a snapshot of a crucial moment in the convergence of rock, psychedelia, and the burgeoning counterculture. It was a day when two iconic bands came together. But more importantly, it was a moment when LSD catalyzed one of the most pivotal shifts in rock music's evolution, birthing a song that encapsulated the disorienting experience of life and death on a hot summer day in Los Angeles.